Belgium right now, so it's like 12. Like they going to bed right now. And he was like, it's gonna be like 4 a.m. by the time y'all finish. I was like, yeah, bro, I'm pretty sure you record it.
Definitely.
He better learn how to work a night shift because that's what we do. We stay up all night.
No, he actually a doctor, bro, so he gotta get up and work.
Oh, he gotta go to sleep. Oh yeah, he needs some rest.
All right, y'all. We got Moziah from the Moziah Corporation in attendance right now. We waiting for one more main guest, and we're gonna get started, and everybody else gonna start rolling in after that. So probably like another 5 minutes or so.
Okay, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Peace and blessings. Testing.
Peace, bro. Peace. Welcome.
3, 2, 1. Greetings to everyone around the world, beloveds. Every single one of you. It's a pleasure to see you. My name is Moziah Medea. I'm the president and CEO of Moziah Corporation, and I've been a secure party creditor since 2006. But I've also been in the process of making sure that we understand everything that's going on around us. We can get deep or we can get deeper. If you want to go a bit deep, we can do that as well. But for the most part, I appreciate beloved Hellraiser for inviting us to this powwow. Because I'm saying wow, I'm looking at my screen and it's interesting. Again, thank you, Hellraiser, for the invitation. Greetings and blessings to all of you. We provide a variety of different services. Some of you may do the same thing. I want to say thank you for those of you that are. If you are blessing people with the ability to create their documents, file their documents, operate secured, build wealth, protect their assets.
No, I got these to put my stuff up.
We applaud you. We hail you very much so, because that's exactly what we do. So one of the things that I would love to do is just explain
for me and
how important.
Hold on 1 second, bro. Hold on 1 second. Okay. So if I need everybody to mute those microphones so we can hear everybody clearly with no interruptions, because this is serious business. Also, shout out to Taza Doc. He just entered into the building. Peace, bro. Peace.
Yes. Again, I'm looking at everyone, and thank you for the invitation. Again, what we do is we do document preparation and filing. We also offer professional development services in the areas of asset protection, protecting your children, protecting your name, your trust development, making sure that you can administer your own trust, make sure you know how to effectively put them on notice of your trust and the fact that you are now in control via your UCC1 financing statement. It is the most powerful contract on the face of the planet. Just like the other brother said, he's got connections in Belgium. We have people calling us from as far away as Japan, just inquiring about whether or not they can perfect the same security interest in their nation. So for us, it's a blessing to be able to provide these services, and we're completely humbled to be able to provide these services, and we approach it as such. We do not try to rob anyone for anything, but we believe in the first maxim of commerce, and that a workman is worthy of his hire. So we can provide the valuable service to you, and we can make sure that you get what you need in terms of your foundational filing, and that you can develop an understanding of what's going on around you. And it's a blessing for us. But again, everything in this particular day and age, because of this global economy, is at a cost. So we don't want to rob anyone of their time, and we don't want anyone to rob us of ours. But we are available. We are there to assist and provide the necessary documents, the necessary procedures. Administrative procedure is your private administrative remedy. That's how you win before you even step onto their ship, if you have to step onto their ship. But you are on the soil. And the minute you step onto their ship, you're under their codes, their contracts, their laws and such. One of the main things that you can do if you ever find yourself in that particular situation where you're brought onto that ship is to surrender all documents of title to the judge. Give back the Social Security card, give back the driver's license, and give back the birth certificate. They are now the holder in due course under the UCC. So whoever has that hot potato has that liability attached to it. And the minute you surrender those documents, that's exactly what you do. The DMV has a form that allows you to surrender the actual driver's license because there's no law on the book that says you must have a driver's license. But people follow the herd. This is the way it's socially conditioned. We understand that. But at the same time, if you ever, and I'm telling you this because I know from personal experience, I know from familial experience, as well as client experience, give back those documents. Those are the documents you want to surrender to the court. Even though you may place a lien against those documents under the Uniform Commercial Code in your security agreement, at that particular time, what you are actually doing is waiving the benefits and privileges. The documents have benefits, they have privileges, but they also have liabilities attached to the penal code. That's how they're able to actually create mass incarceration, which subsequently all judgments get turned into bonds and traded on the open market, just like the birth certificate did. So there are absolute ways to even free your family, but you must understand the bonding process. That's imperative because you too, just like the sister, I believe I've seen you before in one of the videos on YouTube, said that you submitted a bond to the court on behalf of one of your loved ones. It is absolutely possible and it's absolutely doable. You just have to know how to draft the bond, what the court's procedure is for the actual filing of the bond, and make sure that it meets all the criteria in terms of insurance and surety. Very important stuff. And I say that first because I know that we have a whole host of items to talk about tonight. But I wanted to make sure that that's out there and introduce us and let you guys know that please take a look at our website. We'll point people in the direction of your website if you have websites. If that's the way things have to be, then that's absolutely the way things have to be. We also focus on wealth building via real estate. This is how the Jewish culture does it. This is how the Italian cultures do it. This is how pretty much all those European cultures do it. But it's done via a lot of the big ticket items. So if you've got commercial real estate like Walgreens, Walmart, CVS, freestanding bank buildings, Wendy's, Starbucks, they don't own the building. They're the tenant in the building. You have the right and you have the ability to own the building and have them paying you rent every month. You build a portfolio like that, you've got residual income to do the other things that you want to do, like go after the birth certificate bond, have all the bonds located, subsequently all the investors paid off, and your proceeds deposited into your TDA so that you can reuse those funds and reapply them if you need to. But in the meantime, you have to build the wealth that it takes to actually acquire that feat, because that is no small feat. It is a financial burden and it is a time burden. Nonetheless, it is a burden, but if that's what you're after, then so be it. But there's so much more to the puzzle once you become a secure party, in that now you have the ability to create credit. If you can turn down your volume on your phone just a tad, we can avoid the echo. So again, with real estate, you can do that. They don't focus on your credits as much as they do the credit of your tenant when lending money and creating credit to purchase these triple net properties. Triple net stands for three things. There are three things in the mix that absolutely the tenant is responsible for: taxes, insurance, and maintenance of the property. It's hands off for you. You simply collect rent every month, provided you know how to put the documents together to enter the transaction. You can come up with the transactional financing to close the transaction. And then after that, you have a steady stream of income that you can rely on going forward. And then you can do it all again. And then you could even approach the backside of the transaction with the discharge of the actual promissory note that was used to create the actual credit anyway, because that came from your signature. The bank won't tell you that they endorsed the promissory note after you do with a blank endorsement. If you blank endorse it, they can come by and qualify and restrictive endorse it and keep passing it along and making more money on it at a discount. I'm sure some of you have heard of 1099 OID. When you create a promissory note, that's an original issue. What the banks are doing is they're selling it at a discount. So you have 1099 OID in existence. Filling out that form and holding the bank liable for reporting that income to the IRS is part of your duties as the administrator of the estate. If you can push paper and you're not afraid of paper cuts, this is for you. If you can't, then you must find someone who can. But it's imperative that you absolutely conduct administrative procedures to effectively administrate your estate. Otherwise, they'll do it for you. And this is why we had estates before the states, And they took the E off because everything is all about estate law. But the estate is the highest form of law. It's above their courts. So your ultimate goal should also be to occupy the executor office or the executrix office if you happen to be a womb man. But again, you can build wealth if you administer the actual credit report of the straw man or the straw woman. You know that that's what they use to tell you how far you can actually go. So it would be wise to keep that score healthy. So that way you can establish other entities, whether they be your trust, a corporation, which is preferable because you can get big credit under a corporation as opposed to a limited liability company because you're trying to limit your personal liability. They will see that. You can own property under your trust. Your trust gets its own EIN number. Your EIN number can build a credit profile for your trust. And you can begin to build more wealth that way. As long as you are willing to do the work and what it takes to absolutely get there, you will get there. What you put out in the universe will respond in kind. But again, this commercial world that we live in and the fact that they've created corporate everything via trust forces and compels us to administer according to their rules, their regulations, and the way they play their games, all the while protecting and reserving your private unalienable rights, your God-given rights. So when it comes down to your driver's license, it's a benefit and it's a privilege, but it also has the penal code attached to it, so it's got liability. In order for them to give you these trusts, they have to give you a remedy. Part of that remedy is giving those documents back. Holder in due course. You are now the holder in due course of life of those documents. The minute you return them, they are the holder in due course. They have to assume a liability for that fiction on that document. They created it. Uniform Commercial Code. UN CITRAL. United Nations Convention on International Trade Law tells us exactly how promissory notes should be drafted so that you can create these notes and subsequently take them to these banks to make sure that you endorse them the right way so that the banks can convert them to your form of preferred currency. It's all based on these promissory notes. You originate a note with a bank, one of these big guys, one of these big thieves, and they will endorse the note after you do, especially if you endorse it in blank, meaning you just sign your name. That's a blank endorsement. But if you provide a qualified restrictive or you reserve your rights, and how do we reserve our rights? Without recourse, above the signature. Because when the bank endorses a document, I'm sorry, I apologize. Go ahead, beloved, you had something to say?
No, I was vouching for you as far as reserving your rights with that signature.
Right, it's absolutely doable. But a word to the wise. If you ever go out to open up your TDA account, don't ever mention anything about UCC. You can open it up online, but keep it very simple. Kiss it.
An error has occurred. Try again later.
Excuse me. But never say anything in reference to the UCC when dealing with the Treasury. Always come at them as the peaceful private man on the soil. A lot of us want to wear it as a junior G-man badge and poke our chests out thinking that, okay, now we have control. Yes, you have control, but that absolutely means that you must be peaceful and non-belligerent. When we file your UCC1 financing statement, we protect one of the debtors as a non-belligerent, non-combatant, private foundation.
We got
background noise. Very, very important. But there's a wealth of information and you must follow the truth. A lot of people can distort and a lot of people want to go in this direction or go in that direction. Uniform Commercial Code is very straightforward. It starts with the UCC1 and it can be amended or you can have an addendum and you can only amend the Constitution. So that should speak a lot about it. And it comes to fruition via a security agreement. Once you learn what the collateral section is on a UCC1, you are in a very good place. Because promissory notes are collateral and you can leverage them just like the banks do. You have to register it on a UCC1. Every single promissory note gets its own UCC1 so that you can assign it once you transfer it. Then they can assign it once they transfer it. and negotiate it. A lot of people are out here, they have a lot of good information, and then you got a lot of fluff, a lot of clickbait. They want you to watch their videos because they're monetizing, which I'm not a hater, never will be. But you must go for the truth, and you must be synonymous in the operations. When they see synonymous operations and everyone's conducting themselves privately and performing their administrative procedures and it taking over the executor and the executress office, they respect the estate. It's the highest form of law in the land. And it's all trust law. So we also provide you with the actual trustee handbook because, again, it's a lot of information, but I can look at all these faces and know that you guys can absorb 10 times as much. We're the supercomputers, the originals. That's where Watson got its think tank from. It didn't come to fruition by itself. So again, I really applaud you, Hellraiser, good brother. Thank you for all you do, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for all you're doing in your pursuit of the truth and making sure that you stay abreast of the commercial world and you take control of the straw man and you know how to create credit. You know how to actually build. The government was put in place for the people, by the people, for the people. Then all of a sudden, a bunch of lawyers showed up on ships with titles of nobility, totally against our Constitution, hijacked our government. I'm not anti-government, never will. It is by the people, for the people. So if it's by us, I'm for it. I'm willing to do business with you, and you can too. Government needs products and services. Military needs products and services. Departments need products and services. Find out what product and service they need. Find it at a discount. Sell it to them at a markup. Again, it's a pleasure. I really appreciate the opportunity. I'm humbled. I've graduated with degrees in architecture as well as information systems technology, but I've done a lot of stand-up instruction and taught in the banks. And I used to see these UCC1 financing statements move across the trading floor. I was one of the go-to guys at BT, Alex Brown, and Merrill Lynch. So I've seen these things take place, and I'm saying to myself, something's not right. Especially when you see someone's name being traded on, just the name, or when a trader shows you that he can punch in a birth certificate number and see it being traded in the billions. One birth certificate number among 300 and some odd million. So the country and the corporation has unlimited wealth. They actually dangle the carrots in front of you and put on a charade and show you all this nonsense about what supposedly goes on in government. But again, we're not against them. We're peaceful men and women on the soil. No need to step on their ship. The only reason you would do that is if there's a controversy. They created those laws so they can dictate, they can change them on the fly. And they do. So again, it's so good to see so many faces. And again, I see, this whole TDA and Heather Ann Tucci thing that took place happened back 10 years ago when I just got started. So to see it come to fruition, because that was around 2000, we were all worried about the Y2K bug, 1999, where everybody was going to party. But at the same time, when, that this process, this commercial creation that they do and how they make so much wealth and generate so much, but at the same time oppress so many because they can keep you trapped in a triple state of darkness, deaf, dumb, and blind, and completely distracted. Tell you the one thing and they're doing another. So this subliminal control that they have going on as well. Iris W, how are you?
I'm blessed. Thank you, brother.
Can I